Has been a busy Thursday, and now tonight, one of the most talked about moves in politics came down on a birthday. Mitch McConnell says no more Senate races for him as he turns 83 years old today. Hello, everybody, and thank you for joining us. I'm Doug Proffitt. Mitch McConnell, the longest-serving U.S. Senator, saying he won't be running again in 2026. And we have full coverage for you tonight on the announcement that was expected, but no one knew when it was coming. Kentucky was once a Democratic state. McConnell is credited with turning it Republican. Isaiah Kim Martinez is in Frankfurt right now. And Isaiah, it didn't take long for people to jump into the race. Can you detail this amazing timing of Daniel Cameron's message about his Senate race now?
Doug, it was almost simultaneous, happening just moments after the tail end of Mitch McConnell's speech. I can tell you, folks in Frankfurt here, some who spoke to Mitch McConnell today say, again, they expected this decision to come at some point, but just not today.
Senator McConnell on occasions has been the most prominent Republican in the nation, therefore the most prominent Republican in the world.
Reaction from Kentucky Republicans to the timing of Mitch McConnell's political earthquake in Washington.
My current term in the Senate will be my last.
From State Senate President Robert Stivers.
For people in the Republican Party, many of them owe much of their success to him.
To State Senator Lindsey Titchener.
Well, Mitch McConnell made what Kentucky is today. We used to be a blue state.
And Kentucky Auditor Allison Ball.
You know, he's one of those examples of how Kentucky has punched above its weight for a long time.
Democrats weighing in too. Louisville Mayor Craig Greenberg.
Just look at the University of Louisville, for example, the Parklands. Those projects and those institutions would not be where they were without Senator McConnell's leadership and support.
And on his 83rd birthday, Senator Mitch McConnell announcing he's not running for re-election in 2026, a decision he says he made last year.
And I've been honored to perform my role in confirming judges who understand their role.
Titchener sitting in front of a Donald Trump cutout in her office, listening to some of McConnell's speech before my interview.
One of the biggest legacies that he will leave is what the Supreme Court that we have right now.
Within minutes of McConnell's address, former Kentucky Attorney General Daniel Cameron became the first Republican to announce his bid to fill the seat. Here's Scott Jennings, a close friend of McConnell's and the founder of Run Switch PR.
Daniel starts out as the front runner. I think any credible pollster would tell you that Daniel would be in the lead to begin.
Thanks to Ronald Reagan's determination, the work of strengthening America's hard power was well underway when I arrived in the Senate. But since then, we've allowed that power to atrophy.
While McConnell didn't mention President Donald Trump, their disdain for each other is well documented. Jennings, a Republican commentator from Louisville.
How much do you think the disagreements between him and President Trump weighs into his decision?
Oh, I'm sure it's a factor.
A growing number of Kentucky Republicans are moving away from the establishment. The GOP McConnell built in Kentucky from the ground up.
I would say we are moving in a different direction. And I think what President Trump is doing is representative of what the people want.
But does this show a shift toward more of a hard line effort, at least in the Kentucky GOP, sort of being the future?
I don't know that to be true.
And as far as other contenders to fill McConnell's seat,
I hope that we have people who are fresh to politics, maybe not a part of the political machine.
If President Trump jumps into this, it could make a big difference.
as Republican contenders, we also have Congressman Andy Barr of Lexington and businessman Nate Morris, both of whom came very close to announcing it today, saying they're considering, one saying they're anti-McConnell, but didn't quite take that leap just yet. As far as Democrats, State Representative Pamela Stevenson says she will run for the seat. Governor Andy Beshear says no. Doug.